Okay, we're back with the rest of course content. This is where, as I said in the previous video, this is where all of our assignments are really located in the central hub for keeping up with due dates and all of the assignments. Because we're going to be jumping around just a little bit, you'll have some assignments that are to be completed within the Cengage MindTap system, and some assignments that you're going to be completing outside of that system. And since we have such a compressed time in order to get all of our summer coursework done, some of the due dates do kind of jump around a little bit. So we're going to jump into week 1 and take a look at some of the assignments that you have coming due in your very first week to get an idea for what I mean by jumping around a little bit. So I'm going to scroll down below these 2 surveys that we mentioned in the previous video. And you can see that underneath there, each week has a separate folder and they're all organized by date. And I've given you a little bit of an idea of what type of information is going to be due in each folder. So I'm going to click in week 1, very first week. For each of these folders, you're going to see a note up at the top giving you an idea of what we're going to be doing that week and what your calendar looks like for that coming week. All of our weeks for this particular class are going to begin on Monday and run completely through Sunday. So everything closes on Sunday. You really need to make sure that you're planning your week out and that you have all of your work completed by Sunday. Now, that doesn't mean that you can just wait till Saturday and Sunday to do everything, because there are some staggered due dates throughout the week. So let's take a look at this note on this very first page to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So your introduction learning module, which we'll look into here in just a moment, the introduction has 2 items that you need to complete in 2 steps. So you're going to have the first part, it says here, completed by Thursday, the 23rd. So you're going to introduce yourself in the discussion board before Thursday. So by midnight Thursday, you're going to have your introduction written. Now make sure that you're reading all of the requirements for what should be in this particular introduction. There are detailed instructions everywhere. So you have to have your introduction completed by Thursday the 23rd. And then after everybody has their introductions completed, you're going to come back after Thursday and respond to your classmates' introduction posts, okay? And it's really important that you don't try and do these 2 things at once. Everybody deserves to have good, thoughtful responses in the discussion board. So make sure that everyone's completing those initial discussions by Thursday, and then come back on Friday or Saturday and post your responses. Don't try and jump the gun on these types of 2-stage assignments, because it's going to become a problem if you do. So please pay attention to deadlines and staggered deadlines and due dates, and get yourself a calendar. If that will help you, maybe a good week-by-week calendar that's not technology-based, so you can make notes to keep yourself up to date. Now, just because the assignments in this introduction module have 2 steps doesn't mean that you can ignore everything else in this folder until those 2 steps are finished, because you're going to get behind if you do that. They're in 2 separate learning modules because they're separate types of activities that we're doing. So I'm going to click into this introductions learning module and take a look at it real quick, and then we'll look at the other learning module. So you can see we've got a video here. I know you're not actually doing an elevator pitch for this, but the same types of things that you would say in an elevator pitch, you're going to have in your introduction in the discussion board. So watch this really short video. You can see the duration here. It's less than 5 minutes. So go ahead and watch the video. You got a second video here. It also is really short. So make sure that you're watching both of these videos. When I am grading your discussion, I am looking for evidence that you're following the guidelines in these videos. So it really is important that you watch the videos, maybe take down a note or 2 for things that you want to make sure that you include in your discussion. So make it clear that you have watched what you're supposed to watch. I'm going to scroll again. I'm using the scroll bar to scroll to the last step in the introduction module. This link is going to take you directly over to the discussion board. I know it's not really huge. I wish the font jumped out a little bit more at you, but if you click this link right here, it will take you directly to the discussion board. Again, there's more detailed instructions there on the expectations for this particular assignment, so make sure that you're reading the instructions carefully. So once you've got your initial discussion board completed, I'm going to go back using this link right here at the top. I'm going to go back to my week 1 folder, and I'm going to take a look at this basic business writing learning module. Again, we've got a video or two for you to watch on some basic things to keep in mind when you're writing business settings. I'm going to use the scroll tab up here at the top. To scroll to the next, we've got another video for you to watch. Now, some of you that have had me in classes before have seen this "Why Did I Get This Grade" document. I really like this because it does a really good job of explaining to students what a teacher means when they say that your writing is really choppy, or that you need to work on your flow, or you need to dig a little bit deeper and tell me more of the story. Phrases like "I don't really get a feel for who you are." So this particular "Why Did I Get This Grade" is several different, you can see an F version, a D version, and it goes all the way to C, B, and A version of the exact same writing prompt. So if you just want to know what the difference between an A paper and a B paper is, this is a really good way for you to see what it is that we're looking for and how you need to describe your content to your teacher. So if you've seen this before, or if you get a comment on a writing assignment, you're not sure what I mean, go back and take a look at this document. After this, we have 2 assignments. Now you'll notice that this one has a due date of the 26th. And if you're looking over here at this little table of contents, the one after it is due the 23rd. That means that you really need to read over the instructions for this assignment before you actually do the one that comes after it. Now, you're not actually going to complete this one first, but you need to have an understanding of it before you can actually do that research activity. So take a moment, read the attachment that you have here, this restaurant tipping attachment, so that you have an understanding of what this problem is before you go to the library to do some research, because that library research is designed to help you actually come back and complete this assignment. Now you'll notice when I click this scroll up here at the top, it's going to warn me that I haven't submitted anything, and I'm going to click OK because I'm not ready to submit anything yet. So I'm going to click OK. And so here's the research activity assignment. It tells you exactly step by step of what to click, where to go, what to type, and everything. So I'm really walking you through step by step how to use the library's database to do some research. It's going to be up to you which articles you select, but you need to select certain articles that you're going to save and then use those to come back and complete the restaurant tipping assignment. And then after that, yes, I'm not going to submit anything right now. You do have a little quiz dealing with the basics on writing, which you should have picked up with some of the videos that you watched earlier. So I'm going to go back out to the week 1 folder using my cookie crumbs up here, or breadcrumbs. And then outside of these 2 learning modules, you'll see that we have links with these little icons here. Every time you see one of these blue flower type of icons, this is telling you that this is a resource that is handled through Cengage Online MindTap system. So some of these are just chapter readings, and some of them are actually assignments. And notice that I do put the due dates actually in the description here if it's an assignment that you need to do. You should always take a look at the readings before you attempt to do any of the assignments. Depending on the type of computer you're using, you might not be able to actually see the ebook very clearly when you're trying to actually complete an assignment. So it's important that you take a look at the reading, even if you don't necessarily read it, you definitely want to take a look at the chapters, see what kind of content's in there, how it's organized, what the main points are, because the main learning objectives for the chapter are what these assignments are actually going to focus on. So you'll notice these two have a lot of staggered due dates. So it's going to be really important that every single week, Sunday before the upcoming week starts or Monday early, you sit down, you take a look at the folder for that week, and you map out your week to make sure that you meet all of the deadlines for that week. You don't want to try and put things off until Friday or Saturday and try to complete things, because you will have missed certain due dates if you do that. So it's really going to be incumbent on you to take a look at the week by week folders, map out your week, think about your work schedule, your internship schedule. If you're planning a trip to the beach with the family, that's fine. Just make sure you're getting your due dates in place. That's why those virtual classroom sessions that we're going to be having are really important. I'm trying to get all of those completed Mondays and Tuesdays. That way you've got some good guidance and you really know where you're going for the rest of the week, so that nothing sneaks by you. So make sure that you make those virtual classroom settings. Even though they're required, you want to make sure that you get those. So after you've completed this video, I really would like for you to take a moment, take a look at all of the weeks and what types of information, what types of activities we're going to be doing. Next week, we're going to be starting in LinkedIn. I ask that you don't actually get started on assignments for later in the summer session, but there's no reason you can't just look at them and see what's coming up. You don't want to get too far ahead, because you don't know the specifics that I am looking for certain items. So take a look at it, use your calendar, map out your summer session. We go through July 2nd. So make sure that you map yourself out, but don't jump the gun too much. You don't want to get started on things before you know what the expectations are. You never know, I might decide not to do something. You don't want to have done it and then we decide, oh, we don't need to do that. So I hope these two videos have been helpful. I look forward to this summer session. If you got any questions, post the questions in the discussion board. If you don't see a response real quickly, then you can email me, but all questions should go in the question area in the discussion board. So I look forward to seeing everyone in our very first virtual classroom setting.